Alright, welcome back, folks. It's been so long since I've seen you guys. Alright, sorry, just getting some stuff situated. Everything is, constantly a mess, as is life. Just organizing and arranging things real quick. I wonder if this is new or if we just don't use this. I've never seen them do this before, but maybe it's new. Oh, one other difference tonight is we actually get to be in the observer spot, not the team coach spot. So yeah. Now that I think about it, probably why we're looking at this. So we get to look at both teams. And I mean, we're going to be speccing largely UJ, but it means we get a more global perspective, which is nice, both for casting and for viewing. So off we go, both teams repping an Omen, Killjoy, KO, Jet, and Sova. An entirely mirrored team comp to start us off on Ascent. I'm going to turn myself up a little bit. I feel like I'm kind of quiet. There. We'll see how this is. If this works, just let me know. If it doesn't work, let me know. I don't know. Give me some chat interaction or something. It's always appreciated. Okay, so it's the number keys. I don't think I've ever spec'd from neutral before in Valorant, so this is new territory to me. I can swap between people so quick. And one thing to keep in mind, because we are in that neutral spec, we can see things the players can't. Like how UJ can't see their opponents through walls, through smokes like we can. He doesn't know that those people are there. Good shot coming out from basically everyone, really. Good spam and pretty quick control of the site for UJ here. The door comes down. Stevens gets picked up from heaven.
One enemy remaining.
Toji's able to find his third on the round. UJ winning the first pistol round of the night. Yeah, I'm just going to have to mentally adjust to these controls because this is way different than I'm used to. But regardless, this is definitely way better for casting. This is so much more enjoyable. A pretty standard recon dart coming out. Not getting a chance to ping. Gathers knowledge for that Sova, but doesn't quite gather the same kind of knowledge as if it had gone off. Toji getting in there, real aggressive leg, as he typically likes, spamming through the smoke. Both teams still with 5 players. Toji's mouse spinning out again. We've seen that in past weeks. I don't know why he hasn't just gotten a new mouse, I'm not going to lie. But just like that, it's a plant in a 5v5 scenario yet. The Spectre's picking up some kills. One member left for George Mason. Able to find one, but not able to find the other two. Like that, UJ wins the buy-up. Stream broke. I'm assuming you mean stream broke and not Steam broke. But I do know Steam broke recently because of Sons of the Forest, which is pretty funny. I didn't realize it would be that big. I've yet to play it. I've heard good things though. Like the AI companion that you get is a special man. Damn Knife gathers some knowledge. Sloth and Pot of Greed. And Cowboy all lurking up. Seeing what space they can take for free. Grabbing the old orb. I don't think that connected with anything. Doesn't look like it hit Pot of Greed. Stevens with the lineup. Elects not to rip it right away. Toji is on a long flank. Dart comes out, gets shot, but it does get one pulse, and I don't think it saw anyone. They do know that two are there, though, as the rest of UJ rotates. The Intaro finds Pot of Greed, and Sloth is in a strange predicament now.
30 seconds left.
Intaro finds another one. Toji gets the trade, but gets traded himself.
Last player standing.
Cowboy falls from heaven. 10 seconds left on the clock. Sloth with a bulldog and 4 opponents. Just looking to take some guns out of hands. Isn't going to be able to find any shots. And George Mason is going to find their first round of the map. A bit of a late rotate coming out there for UJ, and it looked like George Mason was pretty well equipped to handle it. So I'm not sure if UJ just should have rotated sooner or what should have happened there, but it did look like it didn't exactly go the way that UJ had planned it. Arya finds one, Niantaro finds another. Sloth trades into Niantaro. Finds the ping. Not really anyone there to execute, though. Toji's going to fall. Put his remaining team members in a 2v4 scenario. Both in mid, kind of just an awkward spot. Sloth does have spikes, so it definitely could be worse, but by no stretch of the imagination is this a preferable spot for these two boys to be in. Like they're just gonna slowly rotate, see if they can get a B plant.
Seconds left.
Ping finds one, doesn't see the second. I know he's there, but they find the shots onto Yunhei. Good enough. Plant is gonna be coming down any second. And surprisingly enough, UJ finds themselves in a post-plant scenario already. What was that shock there? I wonder how long that lasts. Like how long that's up in the air. Oh, they each find one. UJ in a 2v1. Can they clutch this up? Arrow having to find 2 picks and get the defuse. I think it's already too late. He is there. He might find some kills. Does he get out? He does. And just like that, UJ is going to convert a real sketchy 2v4 into a questionable round win, I'll say. Oh, Absa Charlos with the tier 1 subscription. Sheesh. He's nuts. He says, I love gyms. We all love gyms. Thank you, Charlos, for the unbelievable subscription. And in case you didn't know, folks, you all can do the same for the low, low price of $5 a month. I'd also like to point out he's subscribed for 15 months and on a 6-month streak, so he has been at it for a good bit already. Oh, yeah, the stream going offline, yeah. So we had a 2-minute delay, and it was only after we went live that they said they wanted a 5-minute delay. And you can't change it when you're live, so got to end the stream, change it, or end the stream, wait for the stream to end on your guys' end, so an extra 2 minutes, and then change it, and then you guys have to wait another 5 minutes to see us go live. UJ with a real aggressive take. Yunhei finds one onto Stevens. Cowboy finds the trade eventually. The Molly comes down. Isn't able to find anyone. Cowboy finds the shots. Almost gets traded by the Jet. Ooh, real unfortunate timing there, but a big flank from Sloth. Knows where the last one is, and he finds the head of him. Sloth going in this map. I mean, I think everyone is playing about normal, if not better than normal right now, so that's good to see. I know that the explosive takes have been working out for UJ quite well recently. We'll see if they opt to keep going with them, or what a lineup. What a lineup. Where does that go? Ooh, gorgeous shot on the Cowboy there. Gonna put the man count even. Sloth is gonna contradict me real quick. Now, UJ doesn't know it, but they do have a clear sight here on A. Here on B, excuse me. Not A, this is B. OG in a position to find a few, and he make magic happen. He finds one, he's revealed, but he knows there's at least one more there. Stevens finds another. The shock dart going in, tags up Niantoro a bit. They do know that it was the Omen though, so they know he could TP back at least. They know he's not pinned down. That being said, still a, yeah, I was gonna say it's a 4v1, 4v0. Also, I didn't know that door just automatically went up at some point. Interesting.
Here.
UJ with a real handy lead. And if they can claim this round, I think George Mason is going to be hurting real bad economically. Because, you know, it's just as much of a money game as it is an aim and brain game. Even though some people might say it's not much of a brain game. There is still thought that goes into it. It's a last moment use of the dash.
Here.
Cowboy is going to be found. Pot of Greed finds one. I think through the smoke. Pot of Greed finds a second on the round. Doji in an awkward spot finds one. Can't quite find the second, but UJ knows where one of the two remaining members of George Mason is. Good knows site is clear. A 3v2 post plant. UJ ripping util that they still have.
You should run.
It's not exactly a great. I guess that's a pretty big killjoy. Killjoy ult. That just hit everything? Are they just all gonna be disabled? No. Oh, that was our killjoy. Don't listen to me. Stop listening. It looks like George Mason is gonna opt to rotate out. They've got to get out. Can't quite find the kills. Woo! Playing that corner like a champ.
They only malfunctioned that one time. And
Oh, Kaylaroni with the Prime sub. Sheesh. So for those of you that don't know what a Prime subscription is, if you have Amazon Prime, you get one free sub each month to any channel of your choosing. And Kaylaroni just chose to use it on us. Thank you, Kayla. We appreciate it. 3 months in a row. That's like 90 days or something. That's a lot of days. Sheesh.
placing alarm bot.
They're rotating through mid. Sketchiest place on the map. Kira finds Toji. Stevens finds Kira, though. Sloth slowly paging his way through the corners. Doesn't look like he's going to be finding much for a while. Finds one, though. Pot of Greed is there with the plant. UJ once again in a 3v2 post plant. For the first time this map, too, they get the plant over here on A site. Now, it looks like the two remaining members of George Mason are going to have a real hard time taking this. All the mollies and smokes and blinds and shock darts and recon darts and the info that they got from that molly is just borderline insurmountable. They do find one. Gets traded, though. Pot of Greed is able to find the final kill. Probably going to fall to Spike, unfortunately, but UJ still ends up ahead on the round. And they're still, like, real comfortable financially. Losing that gun was the least of their concerns. UJ opting for the real aggressive push yet again. Two blinds coming through. Pot of Greed ripping a third blind. That mollying off the immediate left turn, but not denying progress into sight. And just like that, UJ's going to have full control of the site. Like, who am I supposed to be spectating? Yeah, he's dead now. But he found one, and he knows there's a lot of people there. I don't think they saw Toji there. That knife is going to connect onto Toji, though. And it's safe to say that, yeah, never mind, everyone's dying. Everyone's getting kills. Woo! What a shot from Toji there, finding his third on the round. I just need to stop talking. I'll let you guys watch.
Just let them try to catch me.
Sorry, I still have the occasional cough, which I'm sure I'll have for another month. You know how it is when you've got a cold. I'll do my best to not cough into the mic. UJ just playing real slow here. Doing their best to catch George Mason off guard, maybe get a free pick and snowball it. Right now, not much is going to be going on. The owl drone is going to be finding nothing. Looks like UJ might just be opting for their patented B push. Sloth is still over here in mid, probably just looking for any flankers early. I guess you could say flankers, even though early at 30 seconds left of the round is kind of debatable. Looks like yet again, UJ is just going to have free control of the point. Cowboy finds one. Not able to find the second. Ult gets shut down. UJ in a 3v2 because the KO is down. 2 players detained. Real awkward here. He wasn't spotted. He wasn't spotted that entire... Oh, that could have been so cool. He should not have survived as long as he did. But, yeah, he should not have survived anywhere near as long as he did. Is going to get found eventually, but only after picking one off in the meantime. So now George Mason is going to have to win this, or they're... Like, so if you lose after you win a round after a losing streak, it's really, really bad for your economy because you get... You basically get free money for being on a losing streak, similar to if you win a round. But if you reset your lose streak, you don't have that anymore. So George Mason really needs to pull this one out. I just realized we were spectating George Mason. Excuse me. Clears out the corner with the shock dart. Spray. I don't know that KO is right there in the smoke. Owl drone comes out. Does hit Toji. Yet again, we're in a strange post-plant 5v5, 5v3, 4v3. You know, the numbers don't really matter. 4v2. All that matters is there are way too many people alive for it being post-plant. Stevens finds his counterpart with the shock dart. Does fall to Niantora, but Niantora gets picked. And that can't be good for George Mason. I mean, granted, it's last round, but, like, they can't even really invest in the last round of the half, which just feels terrible. Like, wait, Yunhei's got the Stinger, Niantaro's got the Spectre, Noria's got the Guardian. Like, it's definitely not what the last round of the half should be in terms of buys for George Mason. Like, it's all it can be, but it just feels real terrible if you're a George Mason fan. clearing out the corner. I'm not sure if that was the corner he meant to clear out, but it works. UJ playing it low and slow. Yep. No, who's over there? Ah, it's Sloth, of course it is. And he finds the head of Noria. It's a good opening pick
Placing swarm grenade.
for UJ, denying the duelist. Cowboy finds Yunhei, putting UJ in a 5v3. Here gets smoked off. UJ with most control of the site. Kira is there. I think Toji was seen, but I don't think he saw Kira. Arrow finds Sloth. I don't think he got. No, that was a UJ dart. Never mind. Toji gets one though before he's found out. Cowboy does get picked. Steven's getting sprayed through the box, having to find the head. Pot of Greed and Steven's clean up. I wonder if that removes the death, like from the scoreboard. I'll have to ask him later if they know. I suppose he's not technically dead. But just like that, it is a 10-2 half for UJ. So I know that this year UJ has presented themselves to be a bit more of an attacking team than a defending team. So we'll have to see. we'll have to see if they can just hold out for 3 rounds, clean up, and get to map 2 nice and handily. Jamestown is a good team, but this is not normally check him PC below average. Toji does get found out with that KO knife. Oh! It finds the head of Arrow in return. I was questioning the Sheriff by round 1. I mean, like, I'm still questioning the Sheriff by round 1. But, I mean, when you get a clean pick like that, regardless of if it's dumb or not, it's working. If it's working, it's not dumb. Door gets closed. UJ just having to contest from heaven.
Spike planted.
Blinds 1.
Last player standing.
UJ left now in a 1v2. Pottery just not quite able to find the shots. So both teams are going to win their attacking pistol rounds for the map. Pot agreed with some hardcore parkour going on there.
I am everywhere. Shadows travel.
Blind comes out quick, but it's not finding anything. Unbeknownst to UJ, a real quick 5-man push coming in over here on B. Gets mowed down before he can find anything. And I mean, Shorty wasn't going to do anything unless he was at that range in the first place. But regardless, yeah, I don't know if there was a great solution there. And just like that, George Mason is going to find their second round of the half. Now, UJ with the full buy. George Mason electing to continue rocking the Spectres. Just say, yeah, I've got a gun. It's good enough. I'm going to keep racking up money with it. And Stevens with the the Odin. I like it. Because, I mean, Sova plays here anyways, so you might as well have the spray, you know? Gets found out that he's got the Odin. Looks like he did take up the KJ a little bit. Just spraying through the wall. Meanwhile, the rest of George Mason is going to be rotating over here to A. OG at mid. Sees one. Can assume a second. Doesn't get blinded. Two members of UJ here. Hopefully to find trades at the worst. Finds one. Dashes into his teammate awkwardly. UJ finds 3 there in total. Plant is going down.
Spike planted.
Finds one. I think he saw the second as well.
One enemy remaining.
Last one behind boxes, as UJ well knows. And just like that, it's going to be a real flawless round for UJ. Almost flawless even in terms of damage.
Flawless.
Like damage taken.
Wow, so embarrassing.
George Mason regrouping after that, saying, yeah, we had Spectres. We kind of expected to lose that one anyways, but they didn't take any guns out of UJ's hands the way that they probably had wanted to. Toji with the real aggressive peek, nice and quick. Stevens with his Odin right back there at B. Finds the head of Niantaro. Both teams just waiting patiently, biding their time. Still 50 seconds left on the clock. Feels like this has been a long round, but I guess the action started pretty quick. Here's one. Spray coming through, smoke comes through. Molly doesn't find anything for George Mason. And UJ calling, yeah, it's probably a B push. We should probably rotate. And Stevens is there with the Odin. Can he make magic happen again? Awkward timing. Yunhei finds Sloth. Is able to find one, though.
Out of charges.
And George Mason just not electing to plant at all. Or, like, try to plant, even. All right. And just like that, it's map point for UJ. Bit of a strange round there. But, I don't know. We'll take it. As a UJ fan myself, a UJ connoisseur, can't be too mad that that round ended up the way it did, even if it was a little strange. A little unusual.
Scanning ahead.
Art comes through, doesn't find anything. Does eventually find one.
Take flight.
Here.
Oh, that's a cool skin. Like Borderlandsy.
Lombok down.
Toji finds one in mid. What more sins will he commit? I wonder if that's audible. Finds Kira, doesn't quite get the kill, but does get the tag. Gets dinked himself by Kira's Spectre, or Phantom, excuse me. They're both like ghostly things. I get a pass on that one. OG playing real aggressive, isn't able to find the shots onto his counterpart, and just like that, it is a 3v3. Sloth, once again, proving me wrong. Can he find
30 seconds left.
the next pick, though? Using that as a sort of knowledge device. I think he can tell that he rotated, but I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it. I don't think he saw the one close.
One enemy remaining.
Finds one. Not quite able to find the second. But just like that, Sloth puts an end to the map. A real decisive map one for UJ. That was solid, to say the least. Sloth top fragging in the lobby. Love to see it, especially on a non-fragger hero. It's always fun to see people just really go out there and perform. How was Bot of Greed at the bottom? I don't know. Score is weird. But regardless, that was a real performance coming out from UJ, and we love to see that be in map 1, showing that they were already warm, already ready to go. And I will take a short break, as I suggest you all do as well. Alright, I'm back. Don't worry, I missed you guys too. It looks like George Mason is R whenever our guys are done getting water and whatnot. It looks like that's right now. Map 2 Icebox. I know UJ historically has put up a pretty solid performance on Icebox, so we'll have to see if they can keep that track record up, or if George Mason is the first one to dethrone them on said map. It looks like... wait. George Mason isn't using a KO. Interesting. I mean, I suppose out of the 5 in the team comp, the KO is probably the most swappable. But, and I mean, Sage Wall obviously is real strong on Icebox, especially post-plant, where on both sites, really, you can kind of just wall stuff off. So it's not like it's a strange bring by any means. I would also like to note that Sloth did swap from KJ to Viper, and now Pot of Greed is on that KJ.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Oop. Wrong team. Sorry. Just like that, it's a real easy post-plant scenario for UJ. One thing about George Mason is it seems like they really like to stack sites. And it's just time after time not working for them. So got a different sheriff skin on now. That is funny. Good shot from the Intaro there, taking the head off of Toji. Sloth also falling. So is Stevens. Pot of Greed, the last line of defense. Not able to find the head of Yunhei. Gonna be a pistol round in favor of George Mason. So not the start that UJ was looking for, especially with the opening picks, the free plant. It's just everyone from George Mason seemed to find a free pick, and it all just crumbled. I love that knife animation. It's so cool. Knows that someone is there, doesn't know who or where, though. And knowing that someone was there, maybe UJ is looking for... No, they're not looking for a rotate. is gonna find one with that knife. Yunhei finding two.
Can't use that.
Stevens finds one. Cowboy
Last player
falls.
standing.
Noria with two.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's about what you can expect after a pistol round. After a lost pistol round. You're just having to regroup. Should be winning this one. Arrow only has the sheriff still. Okay. But yeah, UJ should be winning this round. If they don't win this round, they're in a real rough spot. Not like awful, but not good. Like probably losing at least one more round if they can't pick this one up. Agreed is going to be picking up bomb right there in mid. Toji getting dinked. Is going to end up falling to Yunhei there.
Found them.
He's one with the recon dart. Wall gets open before it can harden. Low does come out though.
Take flight.
30 seconds left.
UJ kind of just caught between a rock and a hard place saying, okay, we got to rotate and we're going to rotate now. It looks like George Mason is somewhat reading that. Sloth having to find the head of, well, Kira real quick, and he does. Santaro finds his second on the round. In a 2v4 scenario, but they do have the superior guns, so it could be worse. Tagged up. Finds the head of Yunhei. Pot Agreed finds Noria's head as well. Sloth playing this phenomenally. Oh, but they get the defuse through the molly. That's rough. UJ now in a real yucky spot, buying Guardians and Marshals and whatnot. You're just gonna have to rally something kind of soon, or it could snowball real fast for George Mason.
Alarm bot out.
Sorry. Kind of out of it right now. The plant coming down. Slammed by Pot of Greed. UJ was not planted. He did not get it down.
Placing alarm bot.
It's awkward. Just spent a lot of util trying to get that plant. ETX arrow finding Toji. Yeah, there we go. Now the plant is down.
Last player
Ooh, finds the head of Yunhei. Sloth just giving. Probably looking to take a gun out of some hands, but unfortunately he gets his stolen instead. Yeah, that's a real awkward misplay from Pot of Greed there. Letting go of the 4-5 key just a little bit too soon. I think that round would have gone UJ's way had that not happened. But mentally regroup, gather yourself, and say, yeah, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days.
Poison orb emitting. Poison's off.
You're making a lot of noise. Jay's KJ ult getting popped. Koji spraying down the wall is slowed off from his teammates. Arrow finds the first pick of the round onto Sloth. Yunhei finds the second onto Cowboy. Koji's gonna have to make some magic happen. Defender, KJ ult is popped. Pot of Greed finds 2. So does George Mason. Finds the spray just in time. Noria is going to find his counterpart. UJ still has yet to find a round on Icebox.
If you lose focus, you die. Breathe when it's over.
UJ opting for a pretty quick looking B push here. I don't know that that recon dart hit its mark, unfortunately.
Deploying drone.
Owl drone coming out. Reveals via intrusive thoughts that no one is there. Pot of Greed does fall, but he also gets plant down. Sloth has his ult popped. UJ in a 4v2. Toji with 3 on the round. Honestly, didn't even realize he was sort of on the flank. Got a shorty in there with him. Absolute menace. Stevens finds one through the smoke.
Enemy remaining.
Just like that, UJ picks up their first round of the half, and in pretty convincing fashion, too. UJ able to keep most of their guns. That's really, really helping their economy. For the first time in like 4 rounds, I'm actually spectating the right team at the start. Smoke orb going into mid. Lot just localizing that tunnel there. It's just taking it nice and slow. Can't quite play as aggressively as they were on Ascent. But with that being said, that doesn't mean they can't make explosive entries into sites the way that they are right now. Toji pushing through the smoke wall. Ballsy, I like it. Sees one through the hole in the wall. I believe his gun was spotted there. Molly doesn't quite hit him. Toji not quite able to make anything happen. Yunhei is sticking the defuse. That's real awkward. 2 members of UJ left alive. 1 member of UJ left alive. You're just not able to just keep the post plant hold, really. And they're not able to keep their econ rolling either, so it's a real awkward spot right now for UJ. A few of their members, most of their members, real low on creds.
Right here.
Kind of just an awkward spot all around for our boys in orange.
Revealing area.
Recon dart comes out. Doesn't ping, unfortunately.
Take flight.
Owl drone eventually sees someone, doesn't quite get the dart off. Pot of Greed debating whether to plant, eventually decides to stick it. Toji sees 2. And once again, we're in a post-plant 5v5. Sees the head of Yunhei, eventually finds it. Also finds the head of Arrow.
One enemy remaining.
Toji's gonna find his 3rd on the round. UJ with a much needed round win here. Oh, the walking on metal is so loud.
You better run, Sova.
Sloth there on the flank. Pot of Greed looking for the plant. Noria finding Sloth out. Unfortunate. Jay opting for the rotate over to Hay to Hay. It's called by George Mason. But you can't quite find the shots. Yunhei finds, I believe, his 2nd on the round.
I got the spike.
It's shot through the grates. Unfortunate. Cowboy just not able to find the shots there. Why did it switch to them? Hits the head of Noria, but gets his own taken off. UJ just not able to find a foothold here. Icebox is a slippery one.
Get out of my way.
OG popping his knives. OG connect with the head.
Healer down. Your fault.
Finds 2. Kintaro finds Cowboy.
In sight.
Is gonna get taken off the plant. Spike gets slammed. Koji saying the Vandal probably a little bit better than Knives. I think I'd agree with him. Defender Killjoy getting ripped, forcing UJ to back. Still have LOS on bomb, but doesn't mean it doesn't make things kind of awkward. Stevens hitting the big ult shot onto Yunhei. You're now in a 2v1. Pot of Greed finds the pick.
Bot coming back. Recalling my bot.
And it just seems to be a constant trade of rounds coming out from these two teams. Hopefully UJ can start snowballing something here soon. Get it? Snowballing? Because it's ice, it's cold, snow. God, I'm funny. I have to get popped from George Mason's Jet. Almost called her Ash. Don't know why. I guess because she's aggressive, like Ash in Rainbow Six Siege. What a weird conversion there. Haven't done that one before. Jay is gonna have to walk into that treacherous ult though if they want to make anything happen. Stevens finds Kira too. Shuts down the ult. That's real big for UJ. Koji the only one left all the way up here. UJ might get caught out by Yunhei. Finds 1, finds 2. Koji finds the head eventually. Finds 2 of his own. As the last is in mid, he dies, and UJ finally able to make some sort of streak happen. His last round of the half, as you just heard from the announcer. So it doesn't matter as much, but it does mean at the very least that they get to go into the final round with a full buy, and it looks like George Mason doesn't. George Mason with a Judge, a Bulldog, and a Guardian. The Judge feels weird considering Kira doesn't have ult. But I mean, I'm sure they knows better than I do. I suppose if you're playing the corners like this, it's only, you know, so far. Plant coming down real quick. Yunhei does find Cowboy. Yunhei been having a banger half. See if Toji gets caught out by Niantaro. Sees the turret. Turret does not see him.
You should run. Nailed.
Finds the head of Niantaro eventually. UJ's KJ ult getting ripped.
One down.
One enemy
You're
remaining.
diffusing. Does eventually die to the molly though. Doesn't have quite enough health to stick that out.
Switching sides.
Pot agreed, and Toji gonna fall to the spike. 5 to 7 could be worse. The good pasta. I like it. I don't know if we've got any pastas about any of our Valorant players. I know I've got one for like everyone in my friend group, but they're all basically retired from the team at this point. Have yet to know what that note means. Oh, you just spraying through the smoke?
Right here.
Sees Yunhei. Sees two. Looks like Sloth is going to be rotating. Toji, not quite rotating yet because it's not a full commit from George Mason.
Revealing area.
George Mason is looking to be hitting a rotate of their own. Good call from Toji, not full rotating yet. Here's the footsteps, here's the orb grab. See if he can find one or two or four. Finds one. Plant not able to come down yet. Yunhei finds Toji. 15 seconds left on the clock. Stevens does fall.
10 seconds left.
Sloth finds one. Plant is coming down.
One enemy remaining.
Finds one though. UJ finds two, and just like that, score is almost evened up. UJ finding this pistol round is going to be a big help in doing so as well. Toji with a real aggressive sheriff hold again. Sees one, knows there's at least some presence being held here. Sees a second. Sloth gets up there. Doesn't quite find anything. Stevens, though, is going to find one. Toji finds one. Pot of Greed finds one. And I've been specking none of them.
One enemy remaining.
Toji pushing in. Can he find the head of Arrow? He can. What a shot to end the round. Just like that, it's all tied up.
Here.
It does look like George Mason is going to be opting for a pretty aggressive B take here. But UJ with a real aggressive B hold.
Down B.
Behold these bullets. Not quite able to find the shots. Does Tagger once. Gets out of it with his life. It's all we can really ask for. Looks like George Mason is going to be calling for a rotate over to A. Yep. The audio confirmation from Stevens saying, hey, there's a lot of footsteps here.
One enemy
Oh,
remaining.
he finds a second
Down
accidentally.
A.
Scanning ahead. There they are.
Pod agreed there to clean up.
Gun here.
Bit of a lucky spray there for Stevens. But I mean, sometimes the random bullet spray is just in your favor. Might have even been a collat. I don't even know if it took an extra bullet. Nah, I think it took an extra bullet. I don't think it was just a pure collat.
Turn out. Alarm bot out. Placing swarm grenade. Placing swarm grenade.
Koji finding one. Cowboy finds another. Oh, beautiful shot onto Arrow. It gets his own head taken off. Yunhei gets traded by Sloth. It does see Spike as well. Not quite able to find the shots. It looks like Noria did find the Spike. Elects to just
30 seconds
go to
left.
site rather than bait.
Toxin screen down.
All right, Sloth. Now, for those of you that don't know, when you're on that zip line, you're not accurate at all. So that was kind of just an ego fight. I mean, it's not as bad as like ladders in CS:GO, where you just like can't hit someone that you're touching, but it's not good. It's not good accuracy. It's like within shotgun range. I guess he was kind of within shotgun range. A lot of greed getting found out.
Take flight. Enemy mark. Right.
He's the one in the corner.
Out of charge.
Now, most of UJ has rotated. They, at the very least, know that George Mason is making a lot of noise. Cowboy finding the first pick of the round.
Suppressed.
Finds 3 with the KO knife, knows that odds are George Mason is probably going to be committing here to A. Finds Kira as well, second on the round. Dodges some bullets through the smoke. Hits a spray onto the Sage, doesn't find the kill. Yunhei finds his counterpart in Stevens. Also finds a Pot of Greed, gets caught out.
Will not kill my allies.
Reses Kira, makes it a 3v3. It's like Sloth mollying the default plant spot.
10 seconds left.
Finds
Last
the
player
head
standing.
of
Spike down A.
Arrow.
Clutch.
Just like that.
Oh, my back hurts.
One enemy
Ooh,
remaining.
finds Yunhei too. Jay coming out with a cheeky little round win there. I know there's some games where you can technically plant at 0 seconds and the timer stops for you. Valorant is not one of those games. You have to plant with time left on the clock. UJ with a real convincing defense here on Icebox. Oh, if only he knew he was looking right at someone. Did it? No, it didn't hit Yunhei at all. That would have been funny if it did. Did not see the jiggle peek.
No charges left.
Sees it, doesn't quite hit the flick. Knows someone is there, though. Both teams kind of just an awkward standoff here. Tease him.
30 seconds left.
Can't quite hit the spray onto Noria. Finds arrow.
Spike down B.
Finds the head of Yunhei as well. Finds the head of Noria! And just like that, Toji single-handedly shut down the collapse onto B site. Don't use the Deeg, you have an op on you. And they find Kira eventually. So while that copy pasta is talking about Kira's god tier holds, there's nothing to hold. It is what it is.
Placing sentry. Here. Get out of my way.
Knives getting popped by Nori. Toji might find the first on the round. Unfortunately for UJ, Toji has the reaction time of an elderly man. Not quite able to find anything yet. I do believe that the call has been made for George Mason to rotate over here on to B. They said, yeah, there's an op on A. We're not going to deal with that.
Poison orb emitting.
Here's the dash. Sees the wall go up and says, yeah, there's probably going to be a plant coming down in the coming seconds. Not quite able to find the shots on the arrow.
Spike planted.
Ooh, does see him cross.
To my world.
A lot of members of George Mason kind of just tack timing the people on UJ. Yunhei finds the inaugural kill on a cowboy. Toji can't quite find the shots onto Noria. Kira does fall though, which is a big pick considering that's where the ult was coming from.
Revealing area.
UJ having to stick a defuse real quick.
One enemy remaining.
Sloth not able to find the picks. Everyone on George Mason was dead, but UJ just couldn't quite find the defuse. Good cleanup from Potagreed, though. Props to him. Finding 3 there at the end. I mean, it didn't get UJ the round, but scoreboard, pretty cool. Scoreboard is sick. Toji's been going in. Sheesh. I suppose George Mason viewers probably want to look at scoreboard too.
Time for a field test. Placing alarm bomb. Placing swarm grenade.
Toji finding 1. Jiggle peek, not quite peeking far enough. Not baiting anything.
Blocking sight.
Sees the owl drone. Sees the molly come through. And it does connect. Interesting placement. I like it. Now Toji being forced to back.
You should run.
George Mason is going to be ripping their KJ ult. Steven's not finding anything with his
Spike planted.
Hunter's Fury. I feel like using that for anything other than plant denial is a little, like, sketchy. But, I don't know. It could have worked.
Toxin screen down.
Last player standing.
Not able to find the shots on the zipline this time. Somebody call now. There's a fire burning on the scoreboard. Whoa. Joe Smo. Yo. Hey, it's Joe. Lots is doing jumping jacks over here. Probably not going to be finding anything. Cowboy catches a bullet. Koji knows there's at least some mid presence. Sloth is going to be put down. B side is going to be open for George Mason.
Recalling my bot. Bot coming back.
Spike planted.
I like that skin. That's cool. Little aquarium skin. Sick. Someone in chat's going to be like, yeah, it was released when Harbor was released.
Blocking sight.
And then I would say something like, yeah, that would make sense.
Turret out.
Sees the jet there. Finds the shots. Not able to find a second. Pot agreed, not quite good for 3 this time. UJ in a rough spot now. Sloth does have ult. Cowboy's got ult. Toji's got ult, which I'm sure he's gonna pop this round considering he's not buying. So it could be worse, but not exactly a stellar situation for UJ here.
Alarm bot out. Placing swarm grenade.
Here's one on the zip line.
Found them. Swarm grenade out. Out of charges. Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Toji finds one. He's on the big flank. Can he make more happen? No, he can't.
Screen down.
The second knife hit, I guess he assumed he killed them. But, not quite happening. Good rotate call coming out from UJ, though. Bray coming through, not finding any tags. Don't know if he hit the lineup. It doesn't look like he did. Shot from Nori is going to come out onto Stevens.
Last player standing.
Going to pick up Sloth. Pot of Greed is going to fall real quick. Once again, all tied up. Unless one team can win these next 2 rounds, might be looking at overtime, folks.
Turret out.
Like, ult is going to be popped on A. Sloth with the judge. Gotta get out of there, because regardless of
Toxin screen down.
regardless of how obscuring that smoke is, you can still see through it if you're pinged. Or people can see you through it if you're pinged, excuse me. Doesn't know that AJ is right there above him. Looks like the call has been made for George Mason to rotate. Koji does get picked.
30 seconds left.
Swarm grenade out.
Stevens is found out as well.
Get out of my way. Swarm grenade out.
Spike
Plant
planted.
comes down. UJ in a 3v5 scenario, and not a good one at that. Pot of Greed unknowingly peeking an op. The op peeks him. Finds the head of Niantaro. Real nice shot there. Finds the head
Player standing. One
of
enemy remaining.
Hira as well. No way. All right. Yeah, well. UJ kind of just aimed.
Match point.
All right. Yeah, you do you. UJ 1 round away from picking up the series. Koji in a real aggressive spot. Nothing's happening right now. We could check ults. Looks like Kira's got ult, and that is it. Koji does get found out.
You should run.
Ah, I have failed to account for the KJ ult. I mean, she was 1 point off, so that's why.
Welcome to my world.
Viper ult getting popped as wall. Plant is going to go down.
Here.
Finds one.
Turret out.
Finds the shot. Knows one is in heaven. Heaven dies. Decayed to 1 health.
Last player standing.
Sloth just not able to find that defuse in time. Like I said, got overtime, folks.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Oh, I hate overtime, dude. It's so stressful.
Found them.
You're just playing low and slow. Cowboys up there. Meanwhile, the rest of UJ is electing to go for a B push. Toji does end up finding one. He gets out before any more damage can be done to himself. Molly comes out. Not enough to kill the pot of greed. Sloth finds the head of Niantaro. Toji does eventually fall, though.
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
Arrow falls to Cowboy. Cowboy causing a ruckus. Not quite enough to find another, but doing a lot of damage.
Revealing area.
One enemy remaining.
Finds one.
Team A.
Pot of greed finds the other. And team ace to put UJ back onto match point.
Match point.
Placing sentry.
OG real far back for him, typically playing much more aggressively. Pot of Greed is up there setting up his KJ things.
Found them.
Knows that someone is there. Turret sees someone. It likely knows that it is a push. Yo, what are you saying in chat that keeps getting censored? Toji ends up falling. Not a good start to the round. Not irreparable. Finds the spray onto Noria.
Spike planted.
Shock Dart almost connects onto the Sage.
They're dead.
Sloth finds one. UJ still in a 2v3 post-plant.
Toxins going up.
Placing sentry.
Toxin screen down.
Sloth finds another. And Pot of Greed is going to have to stick this.
Standing.
Sloth not able to find it. And once again, another overtime.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Here.
OG getting the early high ground. KO Knife finding no one. Call is made for the other team to rotate. Toji does get found out. Spike falls. Niantaro finds a second.
Deploying drone.
Gets walled off, having to spray the wall down. Eventually does fall. Oh, doesn't fall, excuse me. Oh no! UJ finds 5 kills, but not the round.
Switching sides.
Now George Mason
Match point.
is on map point. I brought up the Sage include over the KO at the start of the map, and it's really been working out for George Mason. Like I said, it's absolutely not unusual for Icebox, but yeah, it's been doing work, putting up numbers for George Mason here.
Revealing area. Deploying drone.
UJ playing real passively. Lurking in the far back. Sloth hears a bunch of footsteps. He's gonna molly off the default plant. Plant is coming down. Able to find this. Oh, it was a molly, excuse me. Finds the molly.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
And UJ with an explosive post plant series of gunfights there. All right, overtime 3. Yay.
Switching sides. Overtime.
But it did feel like UJ was feeling themselves there, taking the gunfights that they wanted. So I can't. I guess I can't be too upset about another overtime. Maybe it's a good omen. Get it? Omen? God, I'm funny.
Breathe deep.
Blocking sight.
Taking the initial high ground. Sees one. Neglects to break his fall and instead breaks his legs. Steven's getting the plant down. Oh, don't look away, Toji. Finds the head of his counterpart. Finds a second. Not quite able to find a third. I should just stop speccing people if I want them to get kills. I'm jinxing them.
Placing sentry.
Scanning ahead.
Last player standing.
It looks like that's not enough time. And UJ doing it right back to George Mason. 5
Switching
dead.
sides. Match
Not quite a round win. Yeah, so maybe UJ can win this one. God, I hope so. I'm hungry. Oh man. Gyms. A lot of sprays coming out, but not much damage being done. George Mason just making no noise. I would also like to point out that Kira does have ult, so if George Mason can get into a post-plant scenario, they can rip that. Honestly, they could just rip it like as she ults too, for cover sake. but probably a post-plant scenario. And if that ever does happen, I would wager we're going to have another overtime. Toji is going to find Niantaro, even out the score a
30
little
seconds
bit.
left.
Revealing area.
Slows come out. The execute is happening.
Right here.
Cowboy finds Noria.
Blocking sight.
Not quite able to find the shots onto Toji or onto Kira. Kira finds 2.
Last player standing.
Pot of Greed. The one-man army.
Placing swarm grenade.
Can he make a miracle happen? Finds 1. Smoke is popped by Kira. Oh, looks away. Tack shooter timing. Overtime 4.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Arrow up real aggressive like.
I got the spike.
Can still double checking. Cowboy finds Niantaro. A good start to the round. They don't know that Arrow is up there in heaven, so that's going to be a real awkward surprise if they don't catch him out. Cowboy finds his 2nd on the round.
Revealing area.
Arrow is found out. Sloth falls. Cowboy finds his 3rd on the round, though.
30 seconds left.
Take flight.
15 seconds left on the clock. UJ still has yet to get Spike down.
10 seconds left.
Can't quite find the shots. Does some damage, but can't get the kills.
Last player standing.
Pot of Greed is going to fall. George Mason is going to be on map point.
Spike diffused.
Switching sides. Match point.
If any of you die, I lose a bet with Brimstone, so don't embarrass me like that, please. Kill them.
Oop. Oop, we're good. I caught myself. Sees the head of Noria. Hopefully doesn't get his own taken off in the meantime. Finds the head of Noria, but 120 or 145 damage is not 150 damage. Stevens falls to Yunhei.
Spike planted.
Yunhei finds his 2nd on the round. And all of UJ is now real out of place.
Recalling out of charges.
I didn't realize that was the sound it made when it shot. That's sick.
Placing swarm grenade.
The molly going over. Pot of greed not able to find the shots.
Standing.
Cowboy having the 1v4.
One enemy remaining.
Not enough time left on the clock.
Attackers
It looks like we're
win.
going to map 3. A bit of a rough one there for UJ. Started off real rough. UJ got the lead. Got it back. Like, what, 7 rounds of overtime or something like that? But just not quite able to pull it off. So we'll have to see what map 3 is going to be.
Choose your agent.
All right, and we're off with map 3, the deciding map of the series. George Mason electing to bring Fade, which has not been in meta for a little while, and then Breach, which I don't know that I normally see on Haven. And I mean, it's got a lot of nooks and crannies like Fracture does, but I still don't know that I've seen him too much on this map in particular. Granted, it's been a while that it's been a while since I've watched pro Valorant much, so the meta very well could have shifted, and I could just be spewing nonsense. But I mean, that wouldn't be the first time that I just incoherently ramble.
Alarm bot out. Found them. Killed my bot.
The Intaro finds 1, Kira finds 2.
Night night.
So while UJ I would say has control of the site, but UJ clearly does not have control of the site. Pretty decisive round 1 in favor of George Mason. I love this melee weapon in particular. I think it's so cool.
Bot coming back. Out of charges.
Scanning ahead. Oh, there they are.
Awkward timing with Niantaro finding Cowboy. Arrow finds Sloth as well. Agreed finds 1.
Spike down A.
Noria does fall.
Last player standing.
Toji just playing a little too recklessly. Gonna get picked off. Stevens is gonna fall as well. 3 on the round for Arrow. 2 on the board for George Mason. DJ looking for a C push. Good see the tripwires there. Maybe they don't see the tripwires. Nope. They did not see the tripwires. And it's just gonna be an absolute mess. It comes out 1 kill richer. Plant is going to be going down. Ooh, Cowboy with the wall bang onto Yunhei. Oh, okay, he's fine. He turned around eventually.
Enemy remaining.
Pot of Greed finds another. UJ just kill hunting right now. Intara finds Pot of Greed, but does end up falling to the spike. I mean, I guess kind of worth it. I mean, yeah, I guess Pot of Greed is in, like, a strange spot financially. Or now Toji is.
Bot coming back.
So probably a worthwhile trade.
Recalling my bot. Alarm bot out. Recalling my bot. Here.
Toji finds one, gets traded immediately though.
Deploying drone.
Spray from Yunhei. Does get traded, however. Flash over the boxes.
Spike down A. One enemy
Able to
remaining.
find the shots on the arrow. Probably a real unlucky spray
Last
there
player standing.
from Arrow. Good TP from Niantara. Looks like Cowboy wasn't able to hear it. And now UJ in a weird half-buy kind of spot. Oh, looks like the call has been made to mostly eco.
Knife deployed. One suppressed.
Oji finds the head of Yunhei. Is going to end up falling to the paint shell. I think he thought it was a little further away than it actually was. Noria finds two.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
UJ just crumbling there after that initial pick. UJ now in the spot to make a full buy, but they've got to convert something with it, or else they'll be right back to the same awkward spot they were in last round.
This is a nice spot.
Steven's playing in the smoke. Should elect for the owl drone. Anticipating a push. Doesn't look like anyone is going to be there.
Take flight.
Owl drone goes out. Doesn't quite check the corner, but gets some bullets from it. He knows that the Omen, or someone at least, was there. Flash doesn't quite go where he wanted it to.
30 seconds left.
Placing swarm grenade out.
EJ, 15 seconds left on the clock. I'd agreed slamming the spike down. Good TP out of the way. Koji not quite able to find the shots.
Last player standing.
Ult whizzes right by slot. Can't find more than one though. George Mason is going to be going up 5-1.
That goes there. Yes, this should do. This goes.
So it looks like UJ is opting for a real aggressive, real fast C take here. Koji doesn't know that the Omen is in that corner. He's gonna skirt by him pretty safely. He finds Toji eventually. The big paint shell there.
Last player standing.
Lot of damage for Noria. That's his 4th on the round. Cowboy is gonna fall to like 4 members of George Mason there. Looks like UJ is taking a timeout, trying to regroup. And I mean, with the scoreboard being 1-6 for UJ, I can't say I blame them too much. What they're pinging? I can see what they're pinging. Let's take a look at the scoreboard while we're at it. Yeah, UJ having a rougher time this match, and I mean, the KDs reflect the round score definitely. The Intaro having a hell of a map.
Suppressing. One suppressed. Flash. Flashbang.
Toji getting picked. Plant coming down here on B. Ooh, it gets denied by the breach ult.
Last player standing.
Noria finds 2, Arrow finds 1. Niantaro finds his 10th. His 10th. And UJ is just floundering, as much as I hate to say it. I was hoping that the timeout had allowed UJ to communicate some stuff and just mentally regroup, but whether they did or not, doesn't seem like it helped too much.
Flash. Knife deployed.
Blocking sight.
Molly coming out into heaven. Stevens finds 1. Stevens finds a 2nd. That ult whizzing right above his head is eventually going to get picked. UJ's still in a 4v2. Finds the shots on a Niantaro. First death of the map. Sloth finds the shots on a Yunhei. UJ is somewhat able to stem the bleeding. But that being said, George Mason is still going to have a lot of money saved up. They're still going to have a full buy. And UJ is all but out of creds on a few players. UJ's going to have to keep converting off of the money that they've got, the stuff that they've got right now,
Bot coming back.
or the end could be nigh for our boys in orange. Boost packs across. Blast pack. Blast pack? Satchels across.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
UJ just getting blown up. Able to find the shots onto Kira. Can he find the shots onto 3 more? No, he cannot. He can catch a bullet. He's not throwing any out. What a good knife.
Shutting them down.
Tripwire. Elects to right-click it. For some unknown reason. Niantaro once again in his cheeky little corner. Like he's gonna find Toji. Jay is gonna get a plant down. The question is, do they have the firepower and the resources to keep that spike planted? Cowboy almost dies.
Player standing.
is eventually cleaned up. Pot of Greed hits the no-scope onto Noria, but walks into a hail of bullets. Going to be the 9th round on the board for George
Last
Mason.
round before the switch.
Here. Shadows traveling. Lightning. Spike plant. No charges. Cover going out.
George Mason taking a little while to rotate here. Another blind coming out from Pot of Greed.
One enemy remaining.
Teams trading bullets. UJ largely coming out on top. Bit of an awkward popped ult there for Stevens.
Switching sides.
I mean, yeah, I guess it was half, so you might as well. Could have killed the teammate with it. Wouldn't have mattered.
Placing sentry. Recalling my bot. Out of charges. Turret out. Bot coming back. Out of charges. Placing sentry.
We'll have to see if UJ's defending half on Haven is much better than their attacking half. 'Cause right now, that's exactly what they need. Koji up in there already.
Placing swarm grenade.
Sees like roughly 12 of them.
The eyes are down.
Sloth finds UJ's first pick. But similar to his teammates, falls to a hail of bullets.
To dust.
Finds the head of Arrow.
Cover going out.
Spike planted.
Revealing area.
Sees both of them with the recon dart.
Last player
Not
standing.
quite able to find the shots, though. George Mason is going to win the second pistol round of the map.
Firepower. I got this.
Revealing area.
Pot of Greed with a nice little headshot on the Noria to start the round. Unusual aggression coming out of him, but, you know, Pot of Greed, pretty OP, both in Yu-Gi-Oh! And in Valorant. Not quite able to find a second, but he sure scared the pants off of him.
Cover going out.
I'm hitting that delusional point, folks. This has been a long cast. Cowboy is gonna fall to Yunhei.
Spike
Sloth
planted.
now in an awkward spot. Pot of Greed is right there with him. Eventually finds the headshot on a Niantaro.
Shadows.
Gets tack shooter timinged. 11th round on the board for George Mason.
Swapping in new fusion cells. Okay,
That-
my arms are good.
That's a cool bulldog. I like that. It's like simple, but it's like futuristic. It's cool. I like it. You know, Arrow. I like his taste in the skins. I like it.
Turret out.
Scanning ahead. There they are.
Sees one with the recon dart.
Spike down mid.
Cowboy almost gets tack shooter timinged. Once again, almost gets tack shooter timinged. Eventually finds the kill on Tenoria. UJ up in a 5v2. Toji on that real aggressive Toji style flank.
One enemy remaining.
Making sure none of them are AFK in
Spike
spawn.
down
Here's
mid.
the running.
Long.
Finds the head.
Wow. So
UJ with a flawless. A lot of work left to do, but
Let's get
it's a good way to start it.
Look here.
Toji with the spray through the wall. I respect it. Oftentimes I go for that spray myself. Takes out the Cypher cam before I can gather too much more data. Like George Mason is opting for an A push. Out of greed, here's the running, here's the boom bot. Here's the nades coming out. And can pretty safely assume that there's an execute happening on site.
Spike planted.
Shadows traveling.
I don't think any of that spray connected. It did not. Yunhei finding one and falling. Noria finds Toji. Not exactly the TP he was looking for. Finds the head of Noria in the meantime, though. But 2 is just too many for Sloth, and that's going to be map point and series point for George Mason University.
Placing sentry. Placing swarm grenade. Placing swarm grenade. Placing alarm bot.
Cowboy finds the head of Niantaro.
Deploying drone.
Owl drone coming out from Stevens. Finds the raise. Doesn't know there's 2 more there.
Face your fear.
Fade ult coming out. Execute happening. On to see Sloth with the shots. Gets concussed.
Spike planted.
Here finds the head of Pot of Greed. Molly finds one.
They're in pieces.
Boots him back off of the defuse.
One enemy remaining.
Finds one. Cowboy finds the last as UJ is not dead yet.
Alarm bot out. Turret out.
Getting that placement just right.
Placing swarm grenade.
Fires the recon dart. As we can see, he's not going to be seeing too much with it. Like there is going to be a B execute coming up from George Mason here. Ult coming out from Cowboy. Finds one.
One suppressed.
Toji finds the head of Kira and Arrow.
Down A.
I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing it right.
One enemy remaining.
Sloth finds Niantaro.
30 seconds left.
Cowboy finds the head of Yunhei. Just got a lot of work cut out for him yet. 6 rounds just to get to overtime. What? Tac gaming shooting? You mean tac shooter timing? Tac shooter timing is like when you look away and they peak like the instant you look away. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about because it happens in every shooter, but it's more infuriating in tac shooters. But by tac gaming shooting, I don't like you stop to shoot. Is that what you mean? Like you got to stand still to shoot, or you should.
Cover going out.
Actually coming out onto A.
Spike planted.
Spike gets slammed down by Arrow. Toji not quite able to find the shots. Is blinded. Blinded and stunned, and still finds the head of one. Noria finds his, though. Ult comes out, doesn't find anything. Cowboy finds 2. The defuse is going through.
Ultimate is ready.
Oh, he didn't stick it. Okay, he stuck it now. Ooh, Cowboy with a nice little dink on the Niantara.
Shutting them down. There.
Here.
I think Toji hears they're running towards A. Says, yeah, they're going for an A plant yet again. Util getting used confirms his suspicions. Shots come out just too late to find the head of Noria.
Spike planted.
Stevens with the trade. Toji finds one and falls.
One enemy remaining.
Well, Yuche not dead yet.
Scanning ahead.
Lots of spray coming out here. Hoping to find a free early pick. George Mason likes to play stuff nice and slow, so that's not going to be handed to UJ that easily. Plant is going to be coming down onto A.
Planted.
Not going to quite find anything. I think UJ caught a little off guard here by the plant. OG finds one, finds two. Sloth breaking his ankles.
One enemy remaining.
Gets timinged. Find the last one, though. It looks like part of... No, it looks like it's a mostly full buy for George Mason here. Intaro even buying Arrow, his Vandal. What a nice guy or gal. Here's the real fast execute. Like, defensive execute, I guess. Finds Kira.
Spike planted.
There's a spike down on A. Arrow finding one, Arrow finding two. Niantaro finding a third.
Face your fear.
The Fade ult coming out, just barely missing Pot Agreed.
Last player standing.
Pot Agreed finding one.
Attackers
But despite UJ winning like 6 rounds in a row, wasn't quite enough. All in all, pretty solid series coming out from both teams. And you know, map 1 being as one-sided as it was. I want to say it was like 13-4, 13-5. Second map going to like 5 or 6 overtimes, just like a ludicrous amount. And then map 3 being pretty dominantly George Mason favored. You know, overall, pretty even series. Not too much to complain about. Obviously, UJ didn't quite pick up the win. But, you know, you can't win every series. And it was a good one to watch nonetheless. So I'm sure they've got some stuff to go over, some stuff to run through. and come back stronger next week. So that's all we've got for you guys tonight. I'll hit you guys with the spiel before I go because I've already been here for like almost 3 hours. Don't forget to follow us on here as well as on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with all of the UJ Esports action. It should just be UJ_esports on any given platform. You can subscribe to us if you so wish right on here. It helps support the team, helps us keep peripherals up to date, helps us buy new computers, helps us travel to LAN tournaments, and just do cool, better stuff, you know. So it's always very appreciated. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon and Twitch accounts and get 1 free sub each month to any channel of your choosing. And you can donate if you so wish as well. It helps support the team similarly to subscribing. Or you can donate to Extra Life right next to our donate button down below. It's a Fun for Sick Kids, so a very noble, worthy cause there. Yeah, I think that's all we've got for you guys tonight. Be sure to check out Call of Duty uploaded sometime tomorrow. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but it should be sometime tomorrow. And then we have Smash tomorrow. I would assume it's 6, but I'll double check so I don't misinform you guys any more than I already intentionally do. Uh, I don't intentionally misinform you guys. I just like don't know things sometimes. So tomorrow, COD is playing again at 5, and then we have Smash at 6. So be sure to keep an eye out for that cheeky little double header. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go eat and go to bed. That sounds nice. It's almost 10 o'clock. So thanks for stopping in, guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for all of the chatters. Just hanging out, having a good time. And to everyone that stopped by, have a good night.